Hello. You all right?
Yeah, good. Well, obviously, we've been on a video call for the last 3 hours already, so...
I mean, keep the illusion alive.
I should think our first talking point is going to be exactly that thing.
Absolutely. Well, that went... I thought that went swimmingly.
Yeah, it was really good. So,
technology...
Do you want to give a bit of context as to what's just happened for anyone who's listening in?
Yes, so for everyone who's listening, hello. So at the moment, we have just finished our first read-through of our musical. What's happening right now is we got 10 actors together to essentially do a read-through of the dialogue of the musical. And it went really, really well, apart from Zoom being annoying and technology failing us on occasions. But apart from that, it went really well, I thought.
I think we managed to iron out any of the things that needed fixing.
Yes, exactly, yeah.
So yeah, what are your thoughts?
Well, first off, I thought that they did a really good job, that they handled the text really well. And I thought one of the things that was clear was the fact that even when they were just literally, because there were a couple of times when I had to just say, "Oh, do you mind reading this bit?" Or it's something they hadn't seen before, but they could still understand what was going on as they were reading it. So I think the moment what's really clear is the storytelling of the script. I think that's very, very clear at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. And actually, it was a testament that they could still understand what was going on, especially when a large portion of it is in the dialogue of the song. Sorry. It's in the songs.
Yeah, so I think that is something that we know that we're not nailed, but that is really strong at this point. I think for me personally, I think in terms of first draft, I think the language of it may need to be solidified as to what kind of vibe we're going for in each scene. It seemed to flip flop a little bit when other people were reading.
I got that as well. I think that there are some areas that need like a fair bit of review, but that for me was more so in the earlier part of the script. It was in the first couple of scenes, I think, that it just needed a bit of clarification.
I think so as well. But then it made me realise as well how much of the character development is in the songs rather than in the dialogue.
Yeah, I think that's something that was missing for me a little bit because the music, it's in varied stages at the moment. One thing that I wasn't sure about, whether it's because of the music or it's just something that we need to relook at, is actually those character arcs and those character journeys.
I feel, I don't want to get in too much of spoilers, whatever, but this relationship with the sisters switched very quickly.
Yeah, it did. It did feel like it went at breakneck pace. And funny enough, I feel like you could hear the most development in Leif's character today
Absolutely, yeah.
Because that so much of the script contains his character arc. I feel like during the read-through today, you actually felt his character development more so than the others. So that's something to keep in mind.
Mm-hmm. And I think as well that Einar didn't speak a lot, I noticed, which, yes, the developments in the songs because he's a very heightened character, not heightened character, but like his feelings are heightened, hence why a lot of his stuff is in song. But I think either we need to sacrifice some other bits, or we just need to add. We just need to get more of Einar in there, I think.
Yeah, I felt the same way about King Ovi, to be honest.
Yes, as well. Yeah, especially in the second half.
Yeah, as somebody who's such a main character in what's going on, I think he barely had anything to say, which was really unusual.
Yeah. But then, like I say, you first introduced him in Negotiation in his first song when you first see him, and then his next bit is another song. All of his stuff is sung at the moment.
Yeah, so maybe a little bit more character development or scripting stuff from those two characters might help.
I think so. Yeah.
Is there anything else that struck you about the stuff going on today?
Just purely off topic. I think when the songs are playing, the reactions from the other actors who maybe haven't heard all of the songs before were really encouraging, I thought.
Yeah, on the whole, when there wasn't songs that were still very early on in their development.
Yeah.
There were bits where I was cringing so hard.
But that's because you know what's going on. But no, I think that was good. And also, even though, you can't really get comedic timing right over Zoom because it pauses and stuff, people were still could seem to be enjoying what was being said with those kind of things as well.
And actually, I think that was one thing that it's a shame that when Zoom records, you can't record everyone, because that's one thing I would like to go back and review, because there were certain jokes that went completely over people's heads, and there were others that just nailed it, and people were falling about the place laughing.
Yeah.
And it would be, it would have been really nice to be able to go back and have a look at what their reactions were.
Yes, I know. Yeah.
I did actually notice, I noticed something when we were going through, and this is going to be more for you and me than it is anyone who listens to this when we put it up.
Yeah.
But I noticed that once again, as seems always the case with everything we seem to do, we've accidentally added more layers of information than we realized, or more complexity than we've realized.
Yeah.
Because during one of the songs, I think it is Magenhild's Dilemma.
Right.
Magenhild says to the group that are there, King Ovi is posing a serious threat. You're welcome to leave, but you'll die with regret.
Oh, regret, of course!
And Einar leaves after the song called Regret.
Oh,
and
that's
types in
insane,
the
I love
Phantom movie. Like, for me, I just was like, what the heck? How have we done this again?
that always subconsciously clever, aren't we?
Subconsciously, we've nested some foreshadowing into an earlier song that we didn't even realise. Yeah, I'm very happy with that. Very happy.
Yes. Yeah. Just as a general, I don't want to obviously be specifics, but do you think that the cast that I got together, do you think that they were well suited?
Yeah, funny enough, I mean, I tried to comment on this whilst we were going, but there was a really interesting correlation between the cast that you'd chosen for the demo read and the cast that I'm working with for the singing, because their voices, when you played the songs in between the scenes, sounded like they could have been the same person. Yeah. So interestingly, I think we've actually been fairly spot on with the casting in terms of having consistency throughout.
Yeah, I think so as well. And which shows we've got a good idea of when we do eventually cast this thing of what we want.
Mm-hmm.
At least at the moment anyway. Obviously, that's going to change with edits and things like that. But at the moment, we've got a good idea of what kind of person should play who.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about some other things that have happened this week, because obviously the script read has been a massive thing for you that you've been preparing and rehearsing for. But whilst you've been doing that, I've actually started work with Giacomo, who, as I spoke about last week, is the person who is workshopping some of the music that's going into this thing. And I've been working steadily with Giacomo to play through the things and figure out where we can have more metal moments and where we can add in solos and rhythm guitar and all that sort of stuff. And so I will try for you to just play a little section of that. It's not going to be a full song like we do normally, but just for your benefit, Nathan, I wanted to play you a little bit of what he's been doing.
Okay.
So we've got here, this is King Ovi and Son, as we did in the first week. Hopefully some of this will come through the speakers, and have a little listen to what he's doing.
I bear in my wisdom, prepare to ascend when it's the right time. It's the right time. Life's short when you're done. It forces you to lead the way. Forces you to be my protege. Enough with my way when I die.
Does that come through?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, so essentially, Giacomo started layering through some distorted guitar underneath those riffs that Ben added in. And for me, it just really pins down that sound that we're going for the King Ovi group.
Yeah.
So we've got like a slightly more Diablo swing orchestra vibe going on at the start now, which I really like.
That's really, that's really cool. And I think as well, what would be nice if we can sort of, as the weeks go on, I really want to show negotiations so we can get an idea of the two worlds colliding into, the big band jazz and the folky metal together. Because I still think that's really, really interesting.
Definitely. Now, something else that I've been working on this week, which I'm still working on. It's not quite finished, but I want to share with you and Vicky, is actually just something rather simple, and that's a roadmap.
I did see that roadmap, yeah.
So I'm slowly putting it together just because I think it would be a good idea for us to have a guideline in which we can follow as we go along this process so that we kind of have a rough sense of where we're at and what still needs to be done to get this music on the stage.
Yeah.
So yeah, just to cover a few things that like I've got in the roadmap. You say you'd seen it already. Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
What sort of things had you been looking at?
So, well, to be honest, I got to it. I zoomed in, and then I accidentally moved it about, so I put it back. But I saw that I got to the center of it, and at the center was what we've done today. So, by that definition, I reckon we're about halfway through the roadmap, which is exciting.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that, as I was plotting it out, I was quite surprised to see is that I think we're about halfway through the process now. It's been a year and a half since we started. And so I think if we continue at this pace with momentum, even though we've got, pretty much a full draft of the script now and a full album, it's still going to be probably about a year and a half before we get to a stage where we've put it on.
Yes, yeah.
And I think just having that rough idea of timescale is quite helpful, because then we can start to attach deadlines to things and go, right, we need to do this by then and this by then, and make sure that we're actually staying on schedule.
But then if things, obviously coronavirus has extended things, if things start to lift and we're able to see each other again and we're able to have meetings with people, that will obviously make things go a lot faster, which would be great as well.
Yeah, I think that's something definitely from today's demo read of the script, is the fact that because we're doing this virtually, progress is slow. It's hard. There was some really funny pauses where the time difference between me in Southend and Daryl, I don't know where he's based, but he must be somewhere in Wales, right?
No, he's in Coventry.
Oh, he's in Coventry. Well, the time gap between his lines and mine was like 10 seconds in between. So I'd stop and then we'd wait and then he'd catch up and then I'd go again.
Yeah, so that was strange. But again, Zoom is wonderful, so we can just cut and edit and stuff, all that out.
Yeah. I just think it'll be nice, when we can finally get together again and rehearse in person, like how this thing's going to come alive. Because I think that's something that I really wanted to see, is just people moving around, interacting and having those, physical interactions on stage, which you don't get from a Zoom call. Yeah,
I think so. And obviously not having me read the stage directions, obviously I'm doing that for the purposes of they can't move about. But when we can go up in a rehearsal room, we can actually see it come to life, like I say. And I wonder if the script will be any different when you get up and rehearse it, because obviously, you try and put as much character into it online as you can, but when it starts moving about, does it then change? Do you like it more? Do you like it less? And that's something I'm worried, but also quite interested to see as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think that we've written a big portion of the script quite visually. So I think that when we can get this up on its feet, it'll make a little bit more sense. Obviously, we can't bank on that, but the things like the siege in the second act, today when we were reading that through, because so much of that is visual, the jump from, okay, they're struggling to suddenly they're starving didn't come across as easily as I thought it would.
No, not at all, no.
Which I think will make more sense when you can physically see that they've been imprisoned inside the castle walls and time has passed.
Yeah, exactly. And when we played the final battle as well, there was the bit where we're like, "Oh my gosh, this is so cool!" and everyone's saying that it's just music to you, like, but then to us, we can see the doors being blown open, the fire coming from the floor, and all that kind of stuff.
We can see the fights, we can see the swords, we can see all of it in our heads. No one else can yet. That's the most frustrating thing about creation, isn't it? That you spend all this time trying to get the thing that's inside your head outside of your head so that other people can appreciate it.
Yeah, exactly. And then they're just like, it's just music, bro.
Mm-hmm. So, what is the plan for next week, do you think? Where are we going? What are we focusing on in the next week?
Well, for me, I think it's going to be sleep. No, I'm joking. Yeah, it's been such a long week. But I think if I get that recording off and I get the full recording, I think I might just spend this week editing it, because that's something I can do intermittently.
Yeah.
And the amount of time I have now with working and stuff. So I reckon I'm going to edit together the read through, and then hopefully I'll have it done by the time we meet next Sunday, so then we can decide what scenes we like, what scenes we don't like. Because something we discussed was, when making a pitch meeting, it's usually about 40 minutes.
Yeah.
So we can decide then what scenes best show off at the moment what we have, along with what songs to go with it, because then we can attach the songs in the middle as well, to then have it as a full 40-minute package that we can just send to people and go, this is kind of what it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, if we can do that a little bit earlier, I mean, obviously you want to do editing of the stuff, but I'm happy to even watch through the unedited version, because I think one thing that's clear to me now is that we actually, we've left the script alone for the last 4 months. And I think it's time to, now that we've had that time to distance ourselves from our work, that we take a fresh look at it, go, this works, this doesn't, get a bit harsh with it, cut some stuff out, and maybe do a bit of rewriting.
Yeah, I think so as well, yeah.
Because, I mean, that's kind of what I'm trying to do with the workshopping at the moment with the songs, is that I know that things need a lot of reworking and changing and cutting and altering.
Yeah, I think so as well. But then also, one of the songs that we would listen to today, I hadn't heard that version before. I can't remember what it was for the life of me. I think it was...
Fish Liver?
Yes, it was, yeah.
Yes. So that actually went...
great.
Yeah, it's getting there. I mean, Fish Liver, the opening lament, and the final battle are kind of quite mammoth-sized songs. They've got a lot going on. They're quite complicated in orchestration, and I think there will be several months before they're done. Yeah.
But also, Lament sounds great as well. I love the sound of Neve doing that.
Yeah, it's starting to come together. And that's the thing, like, because those songs are so huge, they will progressively get there. It's just going to be successive, weeks and months of just changing and going in and editing. And one of the frustrating things is that we were doing that so much faster when I could physically be with Vicky, but because I can't, it means that any changes or any notes, like I still noticed there are a couple of things that are not quite right, just in the fact that there are some old versions of things still in the mix, which sound horrible. But I couldn't tell that when we were working over the phone. Because I can't hear that level of detail. So it's very slow, very frustrating.
Yeah, but it's happening and it's moving on, and we've just done the first read through, which is great.
Indeed. Yeah. So I've got my little roadmap in front of me.
Cool.
And like I said, we're kind of roughly at the middle stage now. So the things that we need to do to progress this and get it close enough to the next major stage, because if you look at the roadmap, everything kind of moves in and focuses on one point in the middle, which is putting together a pitch deck.
Yeah.
Essentially something that we can show to investors and producers and go, this is our musical, please make it happen. And we've only got a few more steps to go for that. One part of that is the artwork that's being made at the moment, that's being drawn by my lovely wife. Rosanna has already started on those, and we've got a few of the drawings there, which is going to be great. So we've got a couple of artworks to help visualize some of the stuff that's going on. We've just obviously done that first demo read, and now the next stage is reviewing and making a few alterations until we get to a stage where, like, right, this is a solid second draft of the script. We've got to edit the virtual show together.
Yep.
And that kind of is combined with the finished demo album, which, like I said, because all of the songs are in such different places, some of them are really close and some of them are miles off of being close to that demo album, which I think is the biggest piece of work that we've got to do.
I think so as well, yeah.
But once we got all that, then we'll have a pretty solid pitch deck, a packet of materials, of songs, of scripts, of watchable pieces and artwork and things like that we can actually go to somebody and go, here's my thing. Let's make it happen on the big stage.
Yes, and I think merchandise is going to be... I want to do merchandise.
That's going to be a long way down the line.
No, but I want like little metal swords with like Blóðlína on a plaque on the bottom of it, and like Sword in the Stone type thing, and just be like, hey, that's what that is. But then, like, kids can have like plastic swords as well. It'd be cool.
I'm sure eventually we'll get to that stage. But as far as I'm concerned, that falls into the like publicity of when we're actually putting it on for real.
Yeah. But I just want to see kids holding Blóðlína swords. That'd be so cool.
One thing that I did think worked was actually just the the officialness of how you looked on the Zoom call.
Yeah.
Because you had our banner behind you, with the lettering and everything. It just suddenly looked so much more, ooh, this is a thing that's actually happening and going to happen. I was quite excited by it, really.
Yeah, but then I put a snapback on and completely ruined that illusion.
You're Gen Z, right?
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah, it's your version of professional. It's fine. That's the new professional attire is a cap.
Is just like everything sounds like smart cash and then a snapback.
Yep, pretty much.
Yeah.
Right. So before we move on to kind of just wrapping things up and what we're doing this week, do you want to hear another song?
I do.
What's our choice for this week? What are we going to be sharing with people?
Now, so we've done King Ovi and Son, we've done Regret, and we've done... What was the other one?
Sucks to Be You?
Yes, it was. It was Sucks to Be You. So, how about How Much She's Changed?
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, because I think that one we've got more voices on that, haven't we?
Yes, we do.
Yeah, let's go with that then.
Okie dokie. So this song here, a little bit of context, it happens quite near the start of the musical. And happens between Einar, who is the farmer of Birka, and his slave woman, Freya.
She cared. It didn't matter that I didn't have status or money. None of it mattered. Never thought a simple farmer boy like me would have spent my youthful days as friends with someone who would lead. Fell in love or something somewhere in between. I can't let it go, but I can't let it show. And still I'm remembering the days when we rolled in the grass. No, there's a barrier between, 'cause she's risen in class. But the only thought that's pressing on my brain is how much she has changed.
Freya, she's in charge of the entire town now. When do you think she has time for a lonely father? Forget the past, leave it behind.
Freya, remember your place. Me and Magna have had something special. Together, kinda.
Don't waste your time on the undefined.
Things will change.
They already have.
Back to normal.
It will never go back to the way it was. The heartstrings will rearrange. 'Cause nothing's the same but change.
But I've been thinking about the possibilities and who would wear the helmet if she wants to marry
Stop.
me.
Remind to yourself you know it's not reality. This isn't a game, so put out the flame before it takes on a hold as it narrows your gaze.
You cannot control who gets caught in the blaze. The damage is done when you're fighting in vain. How much she has changed. Does she not know I can't let go? I'd overthrow the world to show. The heartstrings will rearrange. 'Cause nothing's the same but change.
You'll heal in time. From
How much she has changed.
There you go. I like that song. That's what was that one of the first ones we made?
I can't really remember too much about that one, to be honest.
I think that was one. I think that was one of the ones where we kind of went, "This needs to be a thing." Like, we went through the story of it, and we went, that makes sense. Let's do a song there." And then we did that one
I think
earlier.
it was one of the first ones that we did, because I think it was the first one that I wrote in lockdown.
Oh, right.
I vaguely remember it being my. Do you remember when we were first in lockdown back in last March? That I had to basically work from this weird construction of a desk that I'd built at home because I didn't have a desk at home. So I used a dressing table with a coffee table put on top of it, and then my computer monitors kind of clamped to the coffee table because they don't have stands.
Oh yeah,
I remember it being really precarious, and I had to kind of look up at it because it was all the wrong size. But I remember writing that song when I was sat at this weird tower of a table.
Yeah. No. That's jogged my memory now. Yeah, I do remember that now. Yeah.
All right, so it's already past, believe it or not. We've been ranting and raving about this read through for half an hour already.
I know. It was just so great. I really enjoyed it.
I do think it was a very valuable experience, and actually, I think it's going to be a lot easier for us now to objectively look at a lot of what we've made.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
That's the important thing for this coming week, I think, is to take a good outside perspective at what we've created and how to make it even better.
Yeah, I think so as well.
All right. Well, on that note then, Nathan, I will leave you to rest.
Yes, thank you.
All right. Good work.
And you. So long.
Bye.
Bye.